Hey, I'm Rob from JTRPodcast.com, and this is my first impressions of Pyramid of Pengqueen. There it is. And this is a game based in the Ice Cool world. Ice Cool on my shelf somewhere, over there, somewhere. And what this is a one versus many game, where the one is obviously trying to beat the many, but the many are also trying to beat each other as well, without letting the one win. Now, the one is a mummy, and they're going around a maze trying to capture the penguins. The penguins are going around trying to take treasure from the pyramid without being caught by the mummy. And this is played on this board, which is inside the box, and it's double-sided, and it's all magnetised. So, how it works is, you've got this big lever here. This is going to control the mummy, and the mummy's going to be able to move around. Mummy looks at this side of the board, doesn't see the other side of the board, can't see where the penguins are. The penguins on this side, they will be able to see the mummy moving around. Hopefully you can see that. Let's put it towards the middle. There you go. And so they know where the mummy is, and they know where their treasures are. Those treasures are on the map around there, and they're trying to get them without being caught by the mummy. So what I'm going to do for the ease of this video is take this middle board out. I'm going to lay it flat under camera 2, and just know that the mummy player has this big thing sticking out, and that's what they control the mummy with. So I'm just going to take this off, lay it flat, and let's just take a look at the board. So here it is with these tiny little penguins. They are very tiny. And you can see the maze going around here. You can see all the walls and stuff. These are all the treasures they need to collect. And what's going to happen is everyone's going to have a set of these cards. They've got one for each section of the board, and it shows you which treasure they're on. They keep them secret from the mummy, so the mummy player doesn't know where they are. And play will start with the first player, who is a penguin player. It's the player sitting to the left of the mummy, so the mummy will go last in turn order. And they will roll these dice, and let's just roll them on the board. That's a good roll, so there we go. So that's their result. You can re-roll as many times as you like, as many times as you wish to, until you get the result you want. But for every time you roll this mummy symbol, that dice gets locked and put to one side. We'll just put all the locked dice there for now. So let's just say you roll again, so you don't like any of those. Didn't roll any mummies. Let's say this was a mummy, that would get locked. And then let's just say they took this result. So the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on there, they go around the middle of the dice. You move that many spaces, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe that's their treasure. If it is, they would reveal it. In fact, it was their treasure. There you go. Oh no, I've lost it. I've lost one of the treasure cards. It's in the box somewhere, I'm sure it is. But if that was their treasure, they'll be able to discard it, and they'll be able to show that they've got that one. Oh, there it is. It was stuck to another card. There you go. So we'll discard that, and they know where it is. So now the mummy will also know that card, and the mummy will know where that player is. So you've got to be careful about that. So you only choose one dice. So maybe the next player goes. They roll the dice, and they get a 2, and they move 1, 2. And the next player, maybe they roll an arrow. And an arrow, you move all the way until a wall, until you hit a wall, or you hit the mummy. You just keep moving in a straight line. It's also worth noting that the penguins can't move back into the space. The mummy can't move into the space, and the penguins and the mummy can't move into the mummy starting space here either. So eventually a lot of these dice are going to get locked, and maybe there's too many. Maybe this player doesn't want to roll one dice, wants to roll more. So the beginning of the player's turn, the first thing they've got a chance to do is to unlock the dice. But to do that, the mummy will get a surprise turn. They'll get a bonus action, and they'll get to move one space for each locked dice. In this case 4, so they'd move 1, 2, 3, 4 perhaps. And obviously they'll be doing that on the other side of the board with this thing, which is really cool actually. It is sort of an owly bird thing. It's a penguin. Why did I even have to wonder what that was? Never mind. Anyway, and then the player, now the dice have been unlocked, then the mummies have their bonus turn. They'll get to roll them again, and they'll get to move around. So maybe they go 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe they've got that treasure now. And then once it gets back to the mummy's turn, they get to roll their special mummy dice. So let's move these out of the way. The mummy dice has mummy symbols on them, and they will roll that. So in this case they would move 3 spaces, but they also move 3 spaces plus 1 space for every locked die. So let's just say there was 2 locked die. They roll that 3, can move 5. 1, 2, 3. And what will happen is it will click. Obviously this will be on the other side of it. Let's see if I can do it on camera. Let's see if I can do it so you'll see how it works. So it goes, there we go. It'll jump on top, and the mummy player will be able to hear that click and go, yes. That means you've caught somebody. Each penguin has 3 life tokens, and they hand 1 in when they're caught, and they get sent to the mummy's tomb there, and that's where they'll start off their next turn. And then play will continue round until either everyone's got all the treasure, or the mummy has captured so many life tokens. I will check the numbers now. So the mummy needs to capture 4, 6 or 7 life tokens depending on if there are 2, 3 or 4 penguins. When you're playing with 2 players, one player will play with 2 penguins and they can split them up and get the treasures independently of each other. So that's quite cool. Not tried that yet. But that is essentially the game. How pretty is it? It's really nice. It's really nice on the table. Although I was a bit silly. When I set this up, I put it down and I made sure all 4 players couldn't see my side of the screen. It doesn't matter if they can see my side of the screen or not, just as long as I can't see theirs, and that everybody was squashed around the table a bit. So I remember that for next time, that there's a bit more room around the table. Everyone enjoyed it. We're talking, everyone was, I don't want to offend anyone, but I think everyone was in their 30s at least, very minimum, so it wasn't a young crowd. This is a D&D heavy crowd, a sort of miniatures game heavy crowd. They enjoyed it. They enjoyed the fun of trying to outdo me going around the map. So they're moving around the map and I'm following them, and I'm trying to capture them. And they're rolling the dice and locking them, and every time they lock one, I celebrated because it's another move for me later on, and I could feel a bonus action come in every time they locked quite a few dice, so that was good fun. This magnet system works well. I mean, these are very small. Very, very small, fingertip small, but I guess it has to be for this to work, so that the magnet the other side is strong enough to flip them over when you capture them. And when you capture one, you stop, so you can't capture like 4 or 5 in one go. That would be very unfair, but yeah, it's a really fun game. Again, another kids game that's really good with adults talking King Frog, Ice Cool, Reef Root, Doodle Rush? Is Doodle Rush a kids game? I'm not sure. But Brain Games nailed it again. Really fun game. That's Pyramid of Pengqueen. Remember to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JTRPodcast to find the blog and the podcast at JTRPodcast.com. I'll be Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue, and I'll see you soon.